to do, and you completely lose track of where you are or track of time and all that. In essence, that's a channeling state. This particular channeling, however, the way it is being used, the way I was trained to use it, is to alter the frequency of my brain to be something more akin to the level on which we believe Bashar exists, and he alters his so that we're creating a sort of a telepathic link, and then you're getting a translation of his thoughts made out of my energy and the language that I was raised to understand, which is English. Bashar has actually come through from time to time other people, and even in other cultures, speaking, of course, then the language that that person was brought up to understand, and yet the personality is still distinctly recognizable as Bashar. So it's kind of an interesting and sometimes bizarre phenomenon to see that. But nevertheless, it isn't about believing that Bashar is real, but it's really about the information and finding that the information, if it's something you can apply in your life as a tool and it works for you, then by all means that's the reason to listen to it. If you find that something works better for you, then something else works better for you, then by all means use that, because it's really just all about making sure that you're getting what you need to get where you want to go, and that's really what this is all about. So the information is, however, pretty powerful, pretty down to earth, and people have had a lot of different changes and effects happen by truly fully applying this information. And because people keep telling me that they do get these effects and it does work for them when they apply it, then we keep doing it and allowing Bashar to come through to give the information to you so you can have fun with it. And that's really the last thing to say, and the bottom line is please have fun. The more fun you have with this, the more fun it'll have with you. Now, this is a workshop. It's going to involve a lot of information, some of which he may have touched on before, but in that we've done this particular idea in Japan already. Once we know from what he did there that this takes a lot of the stuff he's even talked about before to a much deeper level, much more detail, and he's really trying to get people now to really understand the deep mechanisms involved in your soul, in the blueprint you may have brought into this life, in how to use this information to make the kind of changes in reality and your experience in life that you want to make. Last year, Bashar made an announcement at another session where he gave us a suggestion that was having to do with creating on this planet an open contact law so that we could have contact between extraterrestrials and humans a little bit more easily. It's the first time ever that they've even gotten close to being involved in or suggesting anything even remotely political on our planet, and so to us that has a great deal of significance that he would even venture in that direction. But he did propose that we make an attempt to start creating a protocol by which we can share it with different, not only this country, but other countries around the world, so that we have a coordinated protocol by which people could, in a coordinated manner, then respond to any possible open contact that may occur in the near future with ETs. So just to let you know where that's at, a draft of a bill has been created, and we will be creating a website on which that bill and any other information, related information, will be placed, and that will be up and running hopefully in the near future. But the one announcement that is recent change, and that is that we have created and are now officially a nonprofit organization specifically for that. So the Extraterrestrial Contact Act is now an official nonprofit organization under the umbrella of the National Heritage Foundation. And we just became official last week. So we're making progress with that. And as I said, hopefully the website and all the information will be up. And I believe it will be, Kevin, it's www.contactact.org. So we'll make an announcement probably on the Bashar website, bashar.org, as to when the contactact.org website will also be up and running, and you can go there and look at all the updated information and participate, if you wish, in helping get this information to become either passed as a law by Congress here, or to get other countries to start looking at it and perhaps adapting it into their legal system as well, so that there's a coordinated effort, which, as Bashar has said, will not only allow us to be more capable of interacting with ETs in a coordinated way when open contact occurs, but by having the majority of the planet actually adopt such a law or such a protocol into their legal system, it will actually send a message to the ETs that we are actually more ready for open contact, because they can't really do anything until our political system and our social system says we're actually ready and available for that kind of contact. So we would definitely invite all your participation in that when the information is available to you to do so. So I wanted to definitely make that announcement. So once again, thank you and have fun.
I'll say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. We will, first of all, take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for allowing this transmission to occur in this manner on this day. Once again, each and every time this is co-created between our respective civilizations, it forms a stronger link, a stronger bridge between your world and our world, and what we have called the association of many worlds. So we thank you for the opportunity to strengthen that link, strengthen that bridge upon which we can one day cross to meet each other in the middle. And that day is not too far away as you count time on your planet. Toward that end of accelerating and strengthening the time of contact between our worlds, we once again invite you to explore your own inner world more deeply. For the more that you learn who you are, then the better it will be in the sense of being your full self, certainly more of your full self when we meet, so that we will know more of who you are, and that you will know more of who you are when you meet us. For we will come to you as fully as we can. And if you are, thus then at that point, not coming to us as fully as you can, we want to make sure that this will not be detrimental for you. So we help to prepare you to discover more of yourself, to explore more of your own universe, so that you can be more integrated, more holistic, more empowered, more creative, more loving, more alive, and that you will know more definitively who and what you are when we meet. Now, we have set up this particular transmission for the idea of discussing what is euphemistically called in your language your soul blueprint. What this generally means is that when you choose to be physical, as many of you know, you will come into physical reality with a general theme that you have decided to play out. It does not always mean that you decide every single moment of your life, or that you are destined to only do certain things. That is not what the soul blueprint means. Although you can create some specific incidents, events, encounters in your life. You can design them, set them up ahead of time for that to come to fruition. You can do that, and sometimes do that. But not every moment. Far from it is laid out ahead of time. You leave yourself an opening throughout your life to make changes as you go, depending upon how much you learn, how much you recognize, how much you realize, how much you integrate. You leave yourself the opportunity at every moment to take the new information and decide where you wish to go, what you wish to do with it, what you want your life to be from that moment forward. The general theme you may have set up for yourself prior to this life will be played out, but the theme is so general that it does not in any way, shape, or form restrict you or limit you in terms of the multitude of the kinds of ways in which you could express or experience that theme. And especially now, at this time upon your planet, many of the themes that you are exploring in these lives are all about waking up to the fact that you have the freedom to choose what you want your life to be, how you want to experience it. Now, we remind you once again that the most important perspective, the most important attitude to have toward your physical reality experience is not to look at how you are doing based on what's going on out there, but how you are doing based on how you respond to whatever's going on out there, no matter what it is. Always remember, there is no out there. There is only here. There is only you. Physical reality is an illusion, a mirror, a reflection. You can use it as a tool in some senses to reflect what is going on within you, what your beliefs are, what your thoughts are, what your emotions are, what your attitudes are, what your definitions are. You can use physical reality as a reflection, but it is not the first step in gauging whether or not you have made a change. The first step in knowing that you have changed is that you respond differently than you used to a situation that may look the same as it did before. As we have said, all situations and all circumstances do not have built-in meaning, and they can serve double duty. The meaning you give it is the effect you get from it. So the first step in knowing your reality has changed is in knowing you have changed with respect to your experience of reality, even if it looks the same as it did before. If you can then respond differently to that reality than you did before, then you know the change is real, the change is within you, the change is owned by you. And when you respond differently than you did before, in a manner that is more of your preference, then, and only then, does your physical reality truly begin to reflect that change in other ways. But remember, it doesn't, and then recognize that that band in the center is now where you are. And look and see how you have gone from the idea of universal and galactic and down into the solar system and down onto the earth and compressed and compressed and compressed and compressed and compressed yourselves. And now, as you go through the compression, through the eye of the needle, as you say, and come out the other side, you will be expanding again, going global, going to solar system, going galactic, going universal, going ultra-dimensional. So as you began and came down to the focal point, so you will go out again in your expansion in the future as you awaken to more and more and more of who you are. And this will be the hourglass that will symbolize the time spent doing this in linear terms. And right now, you are right at the neck of that hourglass. Each little grain of sand that you are squeezing through that neck to once again expand out the other side. But now is the pressure point. Now is when it all comes down to the pressure in the crucible. But you see, as you know, by analogy, and you know we love analogy, you may go into this pressure pot as coal, but you'll come out as a diamond. You know that pressure is what creates diamonds from coal. You know you are carbon-based life. So why should you not come out as a diamond as well on the other side of the pressure? You are crystallizing yourselves, rendering yourselves down into your basic components, reorganizing yourselves, reorganizing your energy in a more crystalline way, and coming out as an energy diamond. This is the process going on now. You're bringing all this to bear, all these energies to bear, blending them, integrating them, pushing them together, fusing them. Fusion, fusion, fusion. And then you will create this beautiful gem, this crystalline idea of reality, and begin to experience the reflection of that as you expand out the other side of the hourglass. This is the dynamic. This is the energy dynamic you are creating on your planet now with your soul blueprint. Squeezing it all down to a neutronic state. Crystallizing it, hardening it, refining it until you are this perfect gem at the other side. A gem of knowledge, a gem of experience, a nugget of pure information, a nugget of pure creation, a treasure for the universe to share. And as you expand out the other side and become new humans, you will have new playmates upon the earth. Us and others, dolphins, other beings, nature, consciousness, other ways of experiencing and expressing your relationship to all that is, to the world, to nature, to all the beings you share the world with, to beings that will come and be on the world with you from time to time, and that you will then be able to go to their worlds and share upon their worlds with. This will be the legacy that will begin to flow out the other side of the hourglass. You will be able to be walking side by side, hand in hand, as equals with all life upon the earth and life elsewhere in the universe. Many of you have begun to realize and have begun to share the idea with others that for a while, shall we say, your planet has been kind of, well, off limits to others, sort of quarantined in a way, sort of, let's see how they do, let's not interfere, what you call in science fiction parlance, the prime directive. They must be allowed to find their own way. They can be assisted, they can be helped a little bit, but we cannot interfere. It is mostly a hands-off policy. Otherwise, we will interfere with their process. They will not get the real benefit out of it by having done it themselves that they will get. We must let them find their own way, much in the same way that you allow your children to learn to walk, then run. You can help, but you can't do it for them. And if you try to do it for them, you will actually remove their ability to really learn to do it for themselves. So we could not do that for you. But because you are now learning to walk and are starting to walk on your own more and more, there can be more involvement, a little bit more. The hands-off policy can become a little bit more hands-on. And the so-called quarantine, in that sense, can be somewhat lifted. Now, putting this into what might be called a galactic legal perspective, if you wish to talk about such things as so-called galactic law,